We're talking boxing, we're talking Ben Eubank, not the oldies, the youngies, they might be getting it on. Let's speak to someone that probably knows, maybe he's heard. Gareth A. Davies, of course, the wonderful Fight Night presenter on talkSPORT, joins us now for more of that. G-Dog, hello, good evening, how are you?
Good evening, Mr. Goldstein and Darren, how are you?
Good, thank you.
In my mind, I can't see, but in my mind you've got like a black vest on and your dark glasses and you've got all your necklaces on.
I have indeed, and I'm up in Bristol with Tyson Fury on stage tonight, just waiting to go on stage with Tyson Fury for his homecoming tour, which has been great fun. I've been involved in a few, so yeah, I am. I haven't got my shirt on yet because I'm not on stage, but I've got some bare arms. It is rather warm out and about, as you know.
Well, don't blame me. I don't own the place. Listen, Gareth, you were quite I wouldn't say vocal, but you mentioned on social media this fight, and then I think it was poo-pooed by, was it Conor Benn? Where are we at with it? What's your understanding?
Well, that's peculiar for me because, I mean, you know, my sources are telling me that Benn and Eubank is going to happen. It's going to happen in the autumn. This is obviously Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. That the Zauerlands that promote Chris Eubank have taken him to DAZN and Eddie Hearn, and they're looking to have that fight. Initially, he was going to fight Liam Smith at middleweight on Sky, but he's obviously gone a different direction. I know for a fact they've been talking. I hear the fight is made, and that the guys have agreed it. They've just got to agree on the catch weight, because obviously Conor Benn is a welterweight and Chris Eubank Jr. is a middleweight. So there probably are a few T's to cross and a few I's to dot, but I'm hearing this fight is on, and there's even a date penciled in for it at the moment, October the 8th. And I just wonder, you know, is the O2 Arena big enough for Eubank Ben or Ben Eubank 3? Should they go to West Ham, go to the old Olympic Stadium and try and make a huge fight of this, Andy? Because if the two old men get involved in the promotion as well, it's going to be huge. Well, Gareth, because the crossover is massive.
Let me ask you, right, because I think it'll be absolutely gigantic. I sort of tongue-in-cheek and joked a little bit, but I'd still like to see, would there be any chance of one of the undercard fights for just an exhibition, maybe 3 or 5 rounds? Could that possibly be Ben and Eubank, the oldies?
That would be amazing. It really would. I think they should do that. I mean, it's the era of exhibition fights. Ricky Hatton was about to fight Marco Antonio Barrera. I know that fight's going to happen now later in the year. We've had Julio Cesar Chavez in the ring, the greatest Mexican boxer ever, recently in an exhibition. Why not? I mean, look, the two old men, no doubt, will do a gloves are off, they'll do a face-off, they'll talk about the two sons, about how it is for legacy, and it is for legacy. I mean, you remember it was the biggest grudge fight in British, one of the biggest grudge fights in British boxing history, 1990, 1993, when Ben and Eubank fought over the middleweight world titles and the super middleweight world titles. They're firm friends now. They've been on tour with the same people, Gold Star, that are running promotions that are running Tyson Fury's tour. And apparently they were in the green room. I'm in the green room now. Apparently when they were on tour together, they were arguing over who should have what sandwiches. But by the end of the tour, they actually got on famously. And I think it's weird, you know, because we have very similar thought patterns. You can think about this later on. Don't talk about it live on air. Because I was actually thinking myself, wouldn't it be great to have the old men as an exhibition on the card as well and just show those moves early on in the night? Because it would get the crowd in early. I think it's a fantastic idea. I know Conor Benn is poo-pooing the fight at the moment. It's probably because they don't want to come out and say anything and say, yes, the fight is there, because they're still probably talking money a little bit. And as I say, they're talking about what weights it's going to be done at. And I think it'll be done in the late £150 kind of category, which would be, you know, between just over light middleweight and middleweight. So, you know, it'll happen. It's such a big fight. You know, it gets the juices flowing, doesn't it? You'd like to see it, wouldn't you?
Certainly, I certainly would. Would that give the catchment weight of the late to mid 150s? Would that give Conor Benn a slight advantage? Because I mean, Eubank Jr. struggles to make the 160 as it is. Right. So, would there be a dehydration clause? Do you reckon, or do you think it gives Conor Benn a slight advantage?
I think Conor Benn is definitely the underdog. I mean, you look at the level that Chris Eubank Jr.'s fought at. He's only lost to Billy Joe Saunders on points. That was a way ago, you know, 7, 8, maybe 9 years ago now. He lost to George Groves in a terrific fight, 168 pounds at super middleweight. They're only 2 losses. I think he'd give Canelo a great fight, and I think he'd give Triple G a great fight at middleweight as well. I think he's the favourite, but like you say, he's going to have to lose. He's got an incredibly kind of terse body. He's really ripped anyway. How he loses another 6-7 pounds, I don't know. But Conor Benn won't have to lose any weight, but he is naturally the smaller man. The styles make a great fight as well, because they're much like their old men. Counter-punching Ben, aggressive forward-coming Ben, forward-fighting Ben against the counter-punching Eubank. It's just set for a terrific fight. I kind of think it evens up, but I think the favourite has got to be Chris Eubank in this. And I also think, because I know you want to get rid of me, Andy.
No, I don't. I don't.
I also think that if it's a brilliant fight, they'll probably have 2, because it really markets well in this country. But also, even if Ben loses and isn't kind of beaten up badly, his legacy at welterweight is not that tarnished, because at the moment he's not ready for a world title at welterweight, 147 pounds.
No, but his O will go. If he loses, his O will go, right?
His O will go. Who cares? His O will go, but he could have 2 amazing fights. Or at least one amazing fight that creates a legacy for the family.
Does it damage Eubank's career?
No, not at all. Not at all.
No.
He's just after big money fights. I think he's a big name. I think they're both great characters. I think they'll sell extraordinarily, and I think they'll gel really well in the promotion.
Okay. Gareth, before I let you go, you mentioned at the top of the show that you were on stage with Tyson Fury soon. Is he in the room with you? How is he? What's the mood like?
John Fury's in the room with me right now. I'm in the green room. Tyson Fury has just nipped downstairs to sign gloves and autographs and photographs with about 500 people lined up outside the centre here, with a nice cricket game going on in the distance. You know, he might go out and knock a few sixes in a minute, like a la Ben Stokes. So I haven't got him in the room. I would have put him on the phone to you.
I know you would have
if he'd been in the room with me. I would have definitely done it. Call me back later.
Okay.
Call me in about an hour, and I'll get him back on with you.
I'll be at home when I make that call, because I'm off air in 30 minutes.
Call me from home, and I'll get him on with your kids. You can check.
Oh, they'd love that. They would absolutely love that. As I would as well. Gareth, you're a superstar. Good luck tonight as well. Thanks so much for coming on. We'll speak to you in a bit.
Thanks, gents. Cheers.